everyone, my name is Sharie, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you Year 12 advice. For all those upcoming Year 12s, those of you that are doing ATAR, whatnot, I'm going to be giving you 12 things that I wish I told my Year 12 self. Last year, I filmed a bunch of videos about my Year 12 life. I have a series on it. I filmed about the ball, did ATAR study vlogs. So if you're interested in all that content, feel free to check out my channel because I have a bunch of videos and I'll link some down below as well in case you're curious as to how my Year 12 life went. So we're just gonna get right into it. Advice point number 1. People are gonna be more naturally talented than you. And you just have to accept it. There are people that studied a lot less than me, you know, in their ATAR exams, and they just got better marks, even though they didn't study as much as me. Some people in my classes learned concepts quickly. It just clicked with them so fast, and they didn't have to review it at home. There were people that were just writing essays from the beginning of the year and already just got the greatest marks and didn't have to get feedback to improve. They were just so good at writing essays. It sucks when you're not one of those people and you have to try 10 times harder to even get close to the grades that they're getting. But that's just reality, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about those people. We just have to accept that, maybe use it as motivation, and accept ourselves as well. It just means that we might just have to work harder, but that's the reality of life, you know. People have to work harder for the same thing. Some people don't have to work at all for the same thing. And it's just something that we just have to accept from the beginning of the year, and that I learned to accept as well. Advice number 2, the importance of consistency and discipline from the beginning of the year. And that's something I definitely regret doing. It doesn't matter how much you study a day, how many hours you do a day, how many subjects you do a day, but if you stick to one rule and you do that every single day from the beginning of Year 12, you are going to do really well. So for example, if you were like, okay, I'm going to study 2 subjects every single day, no matter what, and that's it. If you did that from the beginning of the year and studied 2 subjects every single day, by like term 1, you'd be like, okay, I'm getting used to this. I'm going to add another subject. I'm going to study 3 subjects every single day. And building that consistency from the beginning will help you more than just studying right before an assessment. Alongside this tip, you have to find an accountability partner. You have to do it. That's the only way I started doing it. I tried to be consistent by myself. I tried to make myself do it. I wouldn't do it. So find someone, whether that's your friend, a classmate, whether that's your brother. Literally tell them, okay, if I don't study 2 subjects today, I owe you this, I owe you that. You have to get someone that keeps you accountable with this, because if you don't, you're not going to stick to this. Unless you're like really disciplined, which if you are going to stick to it, props to you. But seriously, get an accountability partner. Number 3, exam season. My best advice for exam season specifically is to not drop your hobbies and to not change your routine so drastically. Let yourself do things that you love to do. Let yourself play that piano. Let yourself do gymnastics. I don't know what sports you do, but don't fully drop them. They are literally the best thing to keep in your exam routine because they help you refresh your mind. They boost your mood. It makes you realize that studying and these exams aren't the only thing that matters to you, because you have these other hobbies. You have these other passions that you're thinking about. And whether it's work, whether it's a hobby, don't drop that thing during exam season, please. Advice number 4 is that there is an underlying pressure in Year 12. It gets serious. Like, Year 11, yeah, okay. But Year 12, everyone around you is suddenly so much more competitive. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the people in my school, but there's this extra level of competition, even with teachers pushing you, and there's that extra level of underlying pressure everywhere. Stay strong and don't let it sway you. Just because that person next to you is trying to get like 90s and 80s and I don't even know, don't let that sway you. Keep to yourself, even if they're getting more competitive, even if they're like, you know, calculating their marks. You're on your own path, you're on your own journey. Focus on what your aim is. Don't focus on the pressure, the competition. It's gonna be there. Stay strong. Tip number 5, don't make your grades your whole world. It's not who you are. You're not a number. You're not a number. I wish I told that to myself. Your identity is not based on your grades because you're so much more than that. You have a personality. You have things you love. You have things you're passionate about. Make that your identity. Don't make grades and numbers your identity. And I could do a whole other conversation on my mindset toward grades. Is advice number 6. You're not gonna get everything you want done. There's always gonna be something to do, especially when you're studying for your exams. It's okay. You're not gonna have all your to-do lists like checked off. But if you prioritize what you know is important for you to study, if you prioritize, doing those practice exams, then that's more than enough. And if you get those priorities done, that's all that matters. Everything else is just extra. You're doing enough in exam season. It might never feel like it's enough, but the reality is no one is ever 110,000% prepared unless they're like study robots, but that's on them. Know when to say no. If you're someone that loves to say yes to everything and you have 10 things on your plate at once, you have studies, you have extracurriculars, you have work, you have all of these things, you can try and balance all of these things, but the reality is there's only so much you can take. Like, you're a human being, and if it gets too much, that's when you know you have to drop something, because your rest is more important than trying to keep all of these things alive. And I'm not saying to drop your most passionate hobby, because if that's your most passionate hobby, don't drop that. Like, I feel like everyone has a gut feeling in them. They're like, yeah, I should probably quit work this year. Do it. Like, if you want to quit that, do it. If you want to drop that school club that you're not really passionate in, do it. We all have limits. Don't worry about what that teacher thinks of you. You're more important. You know your priorities. Say no. And the next piece of advice is a bit contradictory, but know when to say yes. What I mean by this is mainly saying yes to high school events, extracurriculars. If you're a person that usually says no, hates saying yes, it's your time to shine. It's your time to say yes. Like, if you've never joined a school club the whole of your high school life, this is the time. This is the time. After this, you're not gonna get the same opportunity. Like, maybe in uni, maybe later, but why not now, Go to that high school event. Go to the ball, the athletics carnival, because in the end, this is your last year of high school. So if you know the kind of person you are, if you know you say no a lot, say yes this year. If you know you say yes a lot, know when to set your boundaries and know when to say no this year. Advice number 9. Complaining will never get you anywhere. Ever. You can complain 1,000 different times about an assessment, about the subject that you're doing, about this and that and work and everything. It's not gonna get you anywhere. Ranting is okay, letting it out is okay, but once you're done expressing it to someone, you have to accept it, or you find a solution for it. That's it. That's all you can do with it. Accept it or solve it. Advice number 10. If they're a bad influence to you, drop them right now. I've seen people change so much in the span of one school year, and it's absolutely insane how much influence a group of people around you can have on you and the person that you are. Each to their own, but me personally, I'm very strong on my values. I'm very strong on not going to those kinds of parties. We're getting deep now. I don't want to be that kind of person, full stop. And if I'm surrounding myself with those kinds of people, I'm gonna turn into one of those kinds of people. The friends that you become friends with, you're gonna become them. Think about it. Are these the kind of friends you want to be friends with post high school? So be careful with who you hang out with, please. It's a completely different topic, but connect well with your teachers. This is advice number 11. Y'all, I regret doing this. I wish I talked to my teachers more. I wish I asked them for more feedback, anything like that. Like, your teachers are there to guide you. I feel like I could have learned more if I talked to teachers a bit more. Your teachers are there for you. Don't be afraid to approach them. My final piece of advice is something that was told to me at the beginning of last year, and that was to take it all in. And you're never gonna be in a high school environment ever again after this. Yes, there's uni, but nothing is ever gonna be exactly like high school. Where you're at school every single day, where you're in certain set classrooms, where you have period 1, period 2, period 3. Like, that's not anything as close to what uni's like. Just enjoy being in the classroom, because it's not going to be the same after that. High school is glamorized. There are so many movies about high school, there's so many movies about getting ready, going to my locker, going to class. Like, that's something you're never going to get back, like that routine of it and that like safety net. because once you go graduate and go out into the big wide world, your whole life changes. So girl, take it all in. Enjoy your last year. I know there's pressure and stress, but like, high school is high school. I wish you all the best for your high school journey. And if you're still interested in like watching my post-high school journey, you can stick around, I guess. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you got some like useful advice from this video, and feel free to ever come back if you need another pep talk. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.